Hello, hello, hello. Oh no. Rookie move. Hold on. Is that better? Yep, that's better. Sorry about that. I muted it, but I didn't turn the volume off, so I was still getting feedback. So what's going on, everybody? I know we're only a few people in. Hey, Wood, what's going on? Kevin, Killer Kitty. I might be up here by myself this week. I don't know. I got a couple people invited, so we'll see how that goes. Just have to remember to look down at the green room every now and again. Volcanix, what's going on? Uncle Smiley, hello, hello. I was just going to let conversation kind of take care of itself today. I don't really have a topic. I'm going to do a water change here because Wednesday I don't know what happened, but I got super involved with primetime aquatics conversation, and I forgot to actually start it. I usually do the big tank behind me on Wednesdays, and I just didn't. So I was like halfway, maybe even three quarters of the way through the stream, and I realized it wasn't emptying. So, um, yeah, so I have that going for me. What's going on with Uncle Smiley? I'm still in the hospital. What are you in the hospital for, man? I am out of the loop. What fish did win? I think it was the shovel nose. I think it went the shovel nose. I don't know. The shovel nose, the red tail, and the Oscar, I think were top three. I think. I'm leaving for the weekend to Michigan. Hey, hey, who's watching your putty tats? Hey, Jenny. And June, Miss June is here. She's lurking. Yeah, he started streaming the same time as me. I don't know if I'm going to switch or not. Hey, Mark, what's going on, Mark? I think I noticed that my numbers had dropped quite a bit from when I started back in January, and I'm like, well, people are just tired of me already, which is fine. And then I realized maybe that's not it because Alex from History, Fishtory, however you say that. Oh, there's Ed. Hey, Ed.
I was looking to try to figure out how to tell you I was here.
Yeah, I just told him I'm gonna have to try to keep my eye on the bottom here so I can see when you come in.
That's awesome.
Hey, Queen, I saw you say hey to
Well,
me over there at Foxy's, and I was just running around, so I didn't say hi to anybody. But hi there and hi here. Benji's
I didn't
here.
hear everything you were saying, but numbers always go a lot worse in the summer, and then they pick up during the winter.
Yeah, well, that's I'm sure that's part of it too. But when I picked this time slot, there was nobody here. There was nobody streaming on Friday mornings at all. And then Foxy decided to stream um, basically at the same time as I did, which was kind of cool because she picked the hour before. So it was almost, I get a lead in. People are already online. It's just a matter of clicking a button. Hey, Nancy. Um,
That always helps.
right. And that's cool. But then I just got to looking, I went to Fish Fam link, and I was looking to see who goes live, and Alex from Fish Tree, the history of living in your tank or whatever the hell that is. He started streaming in this time slot, and there was one other guy, Andrew. Andrew started streaming in this slot, so now people have choice, and I get that. I'm not. It's not like I'm pissed or anything. But
Yeah,
I'm
but it
just
sucks.
wondering why. We were averaging about 50, high 40s, low 50s when I started, and now we're 20s and 30s, which is still good for
Yeah.
me considering I bring nothing to the table.
Oh no, you're awesome. But yeah, well, Alex is definitely going to steal some. But the problem with Alex is he changes his schedule all the time. So as soon as you move, he might move the very next week too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's
I'm not
he's
that. I'm not gonna. I probably won't.
now and then is what I saw Bingo Fish Bingo was on.
Is that a guy or is that Andrew from Aquarium Daily? Because I know he's streaming now too.
Fishy Bingo. I'm not for I sub to him, but I've never actually watched his show, which sounds terrible. But yeah, he's live right now too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna click and see if because there are a lot of different yeah, he has at least 3 people that you would normally have in his chat. So yeah.
Hey, Kalish,
So it
Mexicali.
probably
Hi,
does.
George. Yeah, I mean, and like I'm not. I want to make sure everybody understands. I am not. You do what you do. I'm not. I'm not out here whining or I just. It was just something that came to my attention. So that's why I put out on my community tab. I said, should I move? Should I stay? Should I quit?
Oh, don't quit.
And
It's just
probably I won't move. I just because this is really my only day that I can do it. I mean, I can do it Saturday or Sunday, but there's already people. Then I'd be stepping on other people's toes, which is going to happen regardless. But I'm not going to do it if I can help it.
unless you go later in the night too, or you could try 2 different times during the day too, or something. But like I know that Kenny wants to start up the football talk again once football season comes around.
Yep.
But I mean that slot at night after the P's are done. It's kind of
That's a
later.
Friday night, right? And that's not an
Yep.
issue usually. I mean, I was going. I got some pretty bad news as far as my diabetes goes, so I won't be going out
Bummer.
drinking or going crazy anymore. I'm gonna be eating salad and water for a while. So
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
I'll be totally able to make your shows if you go back to that Friday slot.
Awesome. Well, but I mean,
Hey,
you
Dix.
could always try that spot too, and if it's rocking, we could do a different night or something.
Oh no
I
no
don't
no no
want
no
to speak for Kenny, but
no! I'm not going to step on Kenny.
yeah,
I like Kenny.
yeah,
I like
Kenny's awesome.
turtles. Kevin says technically I'm working, but hello.
Hey, man.
So
That's
Kitty was
awesome.
asking who won the fish off yesterday, and I couldn't remember for sure. Was it the shovel nose?
It was the Oscar.
Oh, the Oscar won the whole thing.
Yeah, I was really surprised with that. But out of a total of 50 possible points, it got 48. I was really surprised. I mean, the arowana got 37. The red tail got 38. Oh, no, the Oscar got 48. So the next one was the Stingray with a 43.
43.
I really thought it would
the
probably.
Stingray. The Stingray. I was thinking shovel nose, but it was a Stingray. Could you imagine a little tiny stingray floating around in there? For those of you who didn't see it, Ed did a fish off, and it was based on what monster fish would you like if they could find one in miniature. So, like, if you wanted the great big red tail catfish, but it only grew to be this big, would you rather have that over an Oscar that grows 18 inches, but is only, well, you've all seen baby Oscars. They don't really change much. If they could stay babies, that would be really cool. What was some of the other ones, Ed? I got there was a pike in there. No, not a pike.
Nope. I had a needle-nosed gar.
Needle-nose. Yeah, that's what it was, a gar.
The only fish I didn't do was an sometimes I can't say the word that I'm thinking. It's in my head. Indescent shark.
Iridescent.
Iridescent shark.
Yeah.
Oh, my S looks like a G. That's what's throwing me off. But yes. So but yeah, it was the iridescent shark. And that was the only one that we didn't get to because they look so cute when they're little, but they become mega monsters. I mean, they get to 4 foot long, a little over 4 foot. But yeah, what I did was I made all the photos and then I just went click, 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 click in the block. And however they downloaded onto YouTube was I was going to do the 10. So the last one didn't get shown.
What was the last one?
that was the shark.
Oh. That's one that actually I probably want to put high on the list, but if they're going to sell them, I wish they would make them. Wait a minute. Why are you so little? This is supposed to be.
I don't mind.
I
didn't even notice until I lifted the thing. But there's the one for the shark that I made.
Yeah, those things just get enormous. It's crazy that they're sold in the.
Oh, whoops.
In the hobby.
Yeah, and I mean these things are way oversold.
Passing wind. What's going on, bud? And the captain is here. I'm wearing your shirt today. Well, no, I guess it's shades. Not your shirt, but Adam McReynolds. I call him the captain because that's Serenity / Firefly.
It is.
Yeah. Now, Queen Chambers PDC, is that somebody we should know? I don't recognize that name, but if you are somebody new with a new name, or somebody old with a new name, old by meaning been here a while, not physical age like me.
And Jorge's here too.
He is. I said hi to him earlier. I think right before you came in, or just as you were coming in.
Well, and I hope that Killer Kitty was very happy that you were there because she really wanted you on the show last night.
And that's because of the bunch of us. I think I'm one of the few monster fish keepers in the and not that any of these are monsters, but you know, 90% of our group is small fish.
Yep. Oops, I'm gonna button my shirt a little.
Oh no, I was enjoying that.
Nasty scar. There we go. Yeah, and normally I write the names down of the people that, so I know who put, like how Dennis gave you a 4. Or what was it? Dennis.
Oh, on the Arowana. Yeah. I'm like, anybody goes lower than 7. And you notice he's not here today, so he's obviously mad at me.
Yep. Oh, now who's calling me? I don't know who's calling. I'm just going to.
Hey, Ross, what's going on?
Whoops, I hit the power button. Oh, well. I was going to hit the quiet button, but.
See, I'm doing this again. So have you guys, how do you do your, how do you siphon? Do you have a pump? Do you have a helper
I
thing?
have one like that, and it has a pump thing on with your hand, and you pump it, and I pump it
Yep.
into a 55-gallon trash can, or maybe it's 37-gallon trash can.
Hey, J Rock, what's going on? You can see my trash can, and kind of, it's right here. Mine
I'll
is
be doing
a,
that later today.
I don't even know what size this is. I just bought it. Yep, I don't know.
I hope it's not a 5-gallon trash can.
It's definitely not 5. It's somewhere between knee and thigh high on them. So this is
Is it
how
the
I
gray
do it.
one on 5 wheels?
Yeah.
I think it's 37.5 gallons.
Okay.
It's a goofy size, but it's a trash can, so it's like, you really can't complain.
Great. So this is how I do it. I just submerge the end. I pick it up till it starts going down, and I put it back in there, and it's going.
I've never been good at doing that.
Oh.
Do you know, my dad, he did all of his water changes with an air hose
With an air hose?
back in the 70s. He would have 5-gallon buckets all around his basement with all of his 10-gallon or 15-gallon tanks, because that's what they all were with the the metal rimmed
Mm-hmm.
15s and 10s.
Hey,
And he
Oinky.
did them all with an air hose. Hey, Oinky. Her internet went out on her last night during my show, so
Oh,
she was to hang
no.
out with us.
Well, I'm glad it's back. Hey, Debbie
Me
is
too.
here. All right,
Oh,
now
he is here.
I can ban you now.
I'm
Just kidding,
surprised he
just
didn't
kidding,
want a
just kidding.
small arowana.
Who wouldn't want a small arowana? I mean, you can't see him because the camera's on his particular aquarium, but my baby arowana is so cute.
You see, I actually like full grown, or actually pre-juvenile arowanas more than the babies.
More than, well, the
When they're
babies are a little wonky looking with the big eyeballs that
they're
take up like,
so big
yeah.
and the bodies are so skinny.
Yeah, this one has grown out of that. It's maybe 6 inches. It's a little wider than my hand, so it's.
That's when they're the best.
I mean, it looks comfortable in a 40 breeder. Currently. I mean, obviously, it won't be able to stay in there forever, or even very long, for that matter. But it's
Yeah, it
growing at
makes
a nice
me.
steady pace. What's that?
That's probably what we could have talked about is fish that you get mad at when you see them at the fish store. Because I hate it when I see all those baby arowanas in a tank, because you know that kids are buying them all over the place and they're just going to
Yep.
go into 10-gallon, 20-gallon tanks.
Yep. Or Paku or another one, because arowana are at least expensive. Even a
Yeah,
little one will be like 40, $50, depending on where you go,
that's true.
obviously. A Paku is $3.99.
Mosquito. Darn it. I missed him.
You did.
Well,
Is that Nico behind you, way back there?
he's actually right next to me.
Oh, I just oh, it's just a little spot on on his backside. I see it now.
Yeah.
He is right. He's going to be taking a drink out of your drink here pretty quick.
His
He's
drink is
eyeballing
this
it.
orange one.
Does he know
This is
that?
his drink. Yeah, well, this is orange drink. This is orange tea. I'm like addicted to this orange tea. Let me
I assume safety.
this stuff. It's brisk blood orange tea. And my God, I love it. Every time I go to Walmart, there's like 3 bottles left, so I get them. And they don't make them in the big size. I do have a surprise for Nico.
Uh-oh.
I got
It's always fun surprising a cat.
Nico, look. course, he has no idea what these are.
Right.
It's
Like
the
a surprise party for the baby's first birthday.
uh, it's these pet.
Oh,
Oh
he
wait,
knows.
don't step on the.
He knows.
Oh,
Look at him. Oh, that's
Lord.
for me, Papa. Big Steve, what's going on?
He's sitting right on the power cable.
Oh, that's
How did
always
we
good.
open these? Do
And
they
there
have
you
to be
go.
scissored?
So while you are opening that, I saw Kitty had a question or a comment. Where did that go? Right there. Did your video say your baby is a black arowana? Will he change colors? Yes, and yes. Right now, when you first get them, they have like a black stripe right down their sides. That's already gone. And right now he has like a red, um, not a highlight, like tip. I don't know
Red
what you
hue?
would call it. The finnage on top and bottom, the very tips of both top and bottom are like a blaze orange right now, and it looks really cool. And I know he's going to lose that because I mean that's what happens. So and he'll just end up looking basically like a silver arowana, but I believe they are a little bit smaller species where he'll only get to be 24 inches opposed to 40 that the arowana, the silver gets. I believe the silver is the biggest out of the group of them between the Jardini and the Asian and the black.
Are you supposed to feed your cat the whole package of pate?
Don't ask me. My cats weren't spoiled. They got dry food and they liked it because they had to like it.
No. Baby cat just joined the party, but she by climbing my leg.
Denny, are those the ones that we were talking about in the stream yesterday? Are those the ones with the hinged jaw like the arowana? Because I do enjoy those as well. I'm gonna probably get some for my Asian species, not my Asian, my African species tank, which is gonna go right. Can you see that? You can kind of see it right next to the tree there. It's turning yellow with algae. Let's see if I can do this. That one. That's going to be my African tank. And I'm going to have 2 red frontosa in there. And probably some, if I can find a big enough Julie species, the rock dwellers, I'll put them in there. I literally just had a original brisk this morning and it was terrible. They changed something and maybe the cans just taste better. I don't know. I've never had a can of anything that I actually liked. Even beer tastes bad to me in a can.
I like Zima better than I can. I'll be right back. I got to throw this thing away. He ate it all, but I'm afraid he'll eat the package.
Yep, he looks like he wants to eat the package, and he's probably going to follow you wherever you go.
Oh. I buttoned my earphones through that button when I couldn't take my earphones off. Sorry, buddy, you're done. You ate it all.
Yes, I had them about 40 years ago. Whew. I've never had one, but they do look cool. I just don't see them anymore. They used to be pretty prevalent where you go into the big box stores and they'd be cruising at the top of the tank like an arowana. And I always liked them, but I never bought one. I don't know why. Can't even answer that question. My fish are at the post office from Jeff Kane. I don't know what she said though. What did she said? What did she said? Well, I can't find it. But whatever it was, Nancy B agreed. Or it said exciting. That's what it was. See, I can't read, people. I cannot read. Exciting. That's what she said, that she's got fish coming in, and that's exciting. Kitty said, I have 5 baby rice fish hatched so far from Nancy B. Nancy B, you're here. Rainbow shiners. Are those the same as what Coldwater Brendan has? And if so, do you get them frequently enough to sell them? Because I am interested for pond fish. Let me know.
To wash my hands because I had cat slime and pate goop on it for my fingers.
You'll have that when you try to feed that. He didn't follow you, though. I'm surprised. I ended up getting Ottos instead of pygmy Corys, and they got to be about 12. They've got to go into a 12-gallon. This should be fine. Although Ottos are, hopefully they're nice and healthy for you, because they don't always do well if you buy them at a pet store.
Yeah.
Once they get starved out, they don't recover.
Yeah. I would buy, she's like sniffing for more. Man, he's addicted to that. Wait, I don't want you drooling in my cup. No, that's not
Did
it.
he hit something? Oh, he's
back. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, AutoCats. The best way to get them is at a mom and pop shop.
Or even better, a swap. If you can get them at a swap where they were raised by somebody and not shipped, I think you'll do better as well.
Their little bellies, when they're up against the glass, if they're concaved, don't get them because they're going to die.
They're screwed. Their life is already over. They just don't know it.
Poor guys. Makes you sad. I had giant autocinkless, and they were super cool because they almost looked like sturgeon. I made a couple of little videos on them when I had them, but I put them in with the Bichers because I figured they were something big enough to clean the glass on the Bicher tank, that the Bicher wouldn't eat. And one day I go in there and the Bicher is just chewing on one. I mean, just literally had it in its mouth going, biting holes in it. And they didn't, I don't know if it's an armored fish and they weren't able to swallow them or eat them down, but they killed both my autos that I bought.
And what
were like
killed them?
$35 a piece. The ornate Bicher.
Oh.
Both of the ornates killed them.
Yeah, ornates can get a little aggressive. I actually rescued a baby, like what's something that's similar in size. I can't even think anything, but it was maybe, this big. In the pet store, they had, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 of them in there of various sizes. And one that was about that big, just as the little guy was swimming by, just grabbed him right by the head. And I'm like, hey, and I'm trying to get somebody's attention. I just said, screw it. And I put my hand in the tank and I kept messing with the bigger one until he let go.
Yeah, I believe it.
So and going after after a auto, I could totally get that. That'd be cool, Nancy. I mean, I'm not looking for them immediately or anything, but if you ever get enough to distribute, that would be awesome. He's in his cup, right?
Yeah, that's his cup.
All right, orange is him, but you have orange in your cup.
Mine is actually pink,
but it has orange in it.
Drink. This is just a solid orange cup, but it's like he's rubbing his chin all over his cup right now. He's like Nathan, super happy that he got pate today. Ow! Oh!
Oh no! Did he get anything?
Well, all of our D&D notes.
Oh no!
That was a whole cup. That was like 36 ounces of water.
Dang it! What is happening with my hair? I might have to pull it back. Let's see. Oinky has a request, it looks like. If I could put in a request for a genetic alteration to have an option of mini ghost knives, I definitely would. You know what? That's not a bad way. I actually Ed had the I don't know if you had lost power at this point or not, but Ed had the clown knife as one of the candidates, which are cool fish, but I definitely like the black ghost knife better. They both hide, so if they fall, you may never ever see them. But when they do come out, they are pretty impressive. I love the way they move back and forward, and you just don't get to see it very often.
Yeah, Paul found a miniature though, because he was like trying to see if there were miniatures of these fish.
Yeah,
So
I
he
remember
found
him.
a miniature, but we don't know what it looked like. He said it stays 2 to 3 inches, and has it ever been even collected in the hobby?
Right? Yeah. Just because it's a species that's out there doesn't mean that it's something that you can actually buy. Maybe
Paul
find.
took it really serious. But unfortunately, normally I write down who all the participants are, their votes. So
Hey,
I
Depth
would
Charge,
know
what's
that
going on?
who voted real low on things because it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I'm just all wet. At least it was water. Most of it went right onto the floor.
Nancy B, that is an outright lie, and you need to take that back because
Oh no, what did Nancy B say?
dogs never do anything worse than cats. Never, ever.
My shirt's even all soaked. I don't know
Oh,
if
no,
you can
good
see
Lord, man.
it. This is a oh, I mean, look at that. I mean,
Yep. You're going to have to get something with a wider base, I think.
I fill it up every show for him so he doesn't mess with my water because he'll lick just the ice cubes or try to. And normally I put ice cubes in his too because he likes ice cubes. But this time I didn't because it was still filled from last night.
Are they a couple bulls? Bulls in a china shop? Like Paul's dogs? I'm sure he gets plenty of stuff knocked down with his dogs.
I
Depth
thought about
charge? What's going
hey
on?
Dep Jar. I thought about taking Skipper's spot tomorrow night. Because for the Friday night one we rotate that. But I just don't know what to do.
See, she's forgetting the time when Mr. Kitty went through the screen on the window, though. But yes, Athena did go through the screen on the door. I threw the ball, and the ball bounced up against the screen. It was a full door screen. It wasn't just like a little section. It was the whole inside of the door, and it bounced back, and she couldn't reverse fast enough, and she hit that thing, and it just popped the whole thing out. And she's like, "Hey, what happened?"
Huh? I just invented a door. Huh? That's funny.
I can't help but look for music memorabilia on your walls, whether I watch your live whenever. Oh, you know what? You will never see it in this particular room. I have a whole different room for that.
The cool football room.
That's different. That's a whole another room. That's a third room. I got the football
Oh,
room, I got the music room, and I got the fish room.
now does Mrs. Whip have any rooms?
She doesn't because I mean she could. I tried to give her the
This is going to
music
be good.
room. I tried to
Oh,
give it to her, but she does not like the basement. So the basement is mine.
okay. I thought you were going to say she doesn't because she
I sensed
doesn't
her.
have a hobby. I don't allow her to. She doesn't because I'm taller.
Right? Yeah, right. Because I said no.
Oh, what a jerk.
Did you give him ice cubes? I wonder if they're
Not
done the
today,
water.
but
No.
he was so excited because I gave him pate today, and he absolutely loved it. I bought this to try it out because I see people giving it to their cats in shorts, and I tell you, he was addicted to it. He ate the whole thing. Boy, they only put 4 in there. He ate this whole thing
How did
really
you
fast.
get it all over you? If there's, are they? Is it not a paste?
It is no, don't sit there, buddy. I don't even know if he's wet. He just saw me pull that up again.
Yeah, right. He's like, oh, more.
You're a good boy, but you can't eat all the day long. I like bubbles on oh, come on, get over here. I like bubbles on Trailer Park Boys. Do you know who that is?
I
With the
don't.
real thick glasses?
I
Oh,
never
nuts.
watched.
I was gonna do a bubbles thing where he sniffs his can, he says, nothing better than free roam cats. And the smell of a
Oh.
free roaming cat. I'm such a weirdo.
That comes later in life when we after the last war is fought and we're reduced to bows and arrows again.
Oh boy. I don't
So I
know.
was gonna wait till he showed up if he showed up, but I haven't seen him. So, geez, I hope I didn't just put that on camera. I got a thank you from Shady Grady, and he
Did you get the awesome stickers?
did.
Nice. Oh, you
So
got a square.
I got a
I
square
think
and
I
a
got 2
circle.
circles. I think I
Oh
got
wait,
2 circles.
I got one of them upside down. So that's pretty cool.
That is
Now
awesome.
I'm flipping you off. That's not what I was trying to do. All right, this is not working out. But anyway, yes, I got
Shady
two.
on.
I didn't see him, but I was gonna wait, and then but he hasn't showed up. So and
There's
we're
bipolar.
37 minutes in. So yeah, oh hey,
Bipolar.
bipolar, what's going on, buddy?
You know, okay, so I didn't want to do a show on Saturday because it's my birthday and I didn't want to have to work, but maybe we could see if anybody wants to do a D&D. We could ask X to do if he wants to do Saturday D&D. Are you free Saturday night?
Me? No, I am not going to. I am not. I mean, maybe this Saturday, but I will not be able to
Oh,
dedicate a third night
no, it
to.
would be just this night
I
because
thought we could do
it was
one.
supposed to be the auction, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
Skipper's
yeah,
father-in-law is doing really bad, so he
yeah. I'm not
canceled.
doing well.
He was driving to Pittsburgh last night during our show, so poor guy. He would have been on the show with us last night. I like to have 4 people on there, and well, Skipper helps me out so much because Skipper really knows what he's, because he's just been so practiced because he's been there almost every fish one,
Right.
so he always knows just how to count them and say go and says the name and I write it down. It just makes it super easy. And I mean, not putting Paul down whatsoever because Paul did a great job for his first time and everything. But yeah.
Out of all my pets, my family and I have ever owned, including fish, the one that has caused the least amount of mess, money, and frustration, my dove Henry. At most, he might drop a random feather. Well,
Henry is really cool
I
because
can I can
he's
agree
a
with that.
giggling one.
A
He's
what?
a giggling dove where he
MSC, what's
giggles,
going on, bud?
or maybe it's laughing, but he's such a sweet little guy. Now I had a cockatiel, and that thing could spit a seed 10 feet from his cage. It was the dirtiest bird I've ever had in my life. And Actually, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but I named her Monroe because she was white, because kind of like Monroe,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Marilyn
Marilyn.
Monroe had the
Yeah.
white hair. But she could mimic every bird out there. So she could sound like a cardinal, a blue jay, a robin, all the birds she could sound like. But one day she flew right into the window and broke her neck.
That's too bad.
It is. And that
Yeah, I
I
had two
saved
doves
a
as
long
a
time.
kid, but they were
Two
just
doves as a
regular.
kid?
Yeah, just temporarily, but it was over summer break. That's the same time it was science class, and we had doves and we had all kinds of animals in the science room. And I ended up taking home like two or three guppies and the two doves. And yeah, the doves were a non-factor. I mean, you almost didn't even know they were in the house. They were really easy to care for. The
Your
guppies,
mom
by the
didn't get
time,
mad?
what's that?
Your mom didn't get mad or anything?
No, no. My mom was pretty cool. She kind of fed my. It was dad that was usually not another one. Ah, no more animals.
You see, it's just the opposite in my house because my dad loves all the animals, and my mom kind of hates all the animals.
I remember the story that my dad likes to tell is I had snakes. I had just gardener snakes and that stuff I could collect out in the wild. And one of them got out one day or one evening, and mom got up in the middle of the morning. Super early for her. It was 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and she thought my sister had dropped one of her belts in the hallway, and she picked it up, and she was so afraid that she couldn't even get it out. It was just one of those, and dad's like, what's going on? What's going on? He doesn't have any idea because she can't get out what's going on. He just sees her out there frozen in terror. Unfortunately, I think he beat the thing to death because uh, he, they didn't like snakes. They still don't like, well, he doesn't like snakes.
I never even asked to bring a snake in the house
Sin.
because I know the answer.
Yeah.
I made a yeah, I made a really cool terrarium for chameleons when I was a little kid. And my mom, when it came time for me to go get them, she said, "How about hamsters instead?" I was like, "What?" And so I got a hamster, and then I got a second hamster from my teacher, and that hamster ate my hamster.
Oh no.
And my dad was at a deacon meeting, and I'd had them for about a year together. So they've been friends forever. They'd sleep on top of each other and everything. And one day I had just cleaned out their cage. And so I was bringing back their stuff. And I thought Ralph and Marty were looking at each other. Well, Marty had eaten Ralph's head off, completely off. He had no head. He was holding a piece of steak like this, going, and
Wow.
I don't even know where he got this huge hunk of white, red meat to hold because it looked like a real too big of a hunk of meat to be off of this head. But oh my God. So my mom calls my dad, frantic, freaking out, and my dad gets the phone. He's in a deacon meeting at our church. And our church is like it's called a non-denominational church. So it's not like deacons like in a Baptist church where you're a Baptist guy or you're a deacon for life. It's
Right,
like
right.
everybody just takes their turn. But he was the financial guy because he went to school for finances and stuff. And so he was like very important because they were planning the committee for to build a new church because the old church we rented. And he had to leave and come home to take care of the hamsters.
I don't think my actual store bought. Well, I guess those were store bought too. But the actual pets, I had probably 8, 10, 12. hamsters at one point, all at the same time, running through. I had made my own habit trails. Remember habit trails, the plastic things?
Oh yeah.
I did it out of fish tanks where I drilled holes in the fish tanks or made
Wow.
tubes going out of one top into another, tank sitting right next to it. Um, and yeah, I had, I don't know how many, maybe 8 to 10, I think. And then I had gerbils. I had two gerbils, Laverne and Shirley. I had two rats, Titan and Thor. But I had mice that I saved from being fed. They were feeder mice. Well, so were the two rats, but the feeder mice ate each other fairly frequently. Where I'd find a carcass in there, I'm like, what the hell? But they were breeding so fast. I mean, they'd kill one, but three, it was like a hydra. You kill one and three more appear. And so, but that was how it was with the guppies too. That's when I learned. I was in between fifth and sixth grade, something like that. Where if you have two guppies, you will have too many guppies in 3 months because they gave me the 10-gallon with the three guppies in it. All it had was one of those glass. What do they call it? The box
Box filter.
filter. Yeah, that's all. It had a cheesy light on it and a box filter. And I've told this story before, so I know most everybody knows. But there were so many fish in there that it was like they were on each other. Dad was literally flushing hundreds of them at a point, where he
My
just,
God.
and there was just so many. I mean, he could flush 100 of them, and it was just thick as all get out in there. So,
What? I think the older guppies were so much more hardy than they are today.
but I don't, I
Our
don't know that they were as pretty, right? I mean, they didn't have the
Yeah, they weren't.
designer ones back then.
My dad had some real nice ones, but they still don't really hold up to the newer lines of Asian stuff. If you go to an IFGA show, they look a lot like the same from the 70s because they are pre-Asian, and I think the Asians just developed such thicker, prettier, healthier looking, but not healthier overall guppy. And I think the reason why the IFGA doesn't want to allow the Asian guppies in is because they'll start losing. Because these guys, they're all like in their 80s and their 90s, and they've been breeding the exact same line for 50 years, and they've been winning for 50 years. And that line does not compare to anything that comes out of Asia. And I wish we could get fish from India. The guppies from India are like crazy because it's like two different cultures, but they're both really into their guppies and guppy shows. And the ones in India, they're like fluorescent. They are just crazy awesome. And I wish I knew a breeder in India was able to, but for some reason, India has a hard time, I think, sending their fish to us. Maybe
Which is,
because of the cobras and stuff like that. But you'd think if the other places in Asia would have no problem sending guppies.
yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, obviously, there's a ton of fish coming out of the country. I mean, we get just not that
I think that's
particular.
where indescent sharks, I think, come from, isn't it?
Well, I think a
And
lot of fish come from there.
I think the flying foxes may come from there. There is a lot that comes out, but I think a lot of them might have already come out and now they're in Asian markets being bred. I don't know. I think that a lot of their waterways are super polluted.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, both India and China are producing so much global like waste. It's unbelievable. I mean, like, and I don't mean to jump into the whole global warming thing, but like the country of the United Kingdom is 2% of the problem, only 2%. So even if they just completely stopped eating everything, except for wax paper. I don't know. That's healthy for the world. It wouldn't make a difference because of what India and China are doing right now, because they're powers, but they're also poor and they have starving people. And starving people don't care about the economy. About not the economy, the ecology, the world, or global warming. They care about filling their stomach today.
Right.
And
living to tomorrow. That's what they're worried about.
Their rivers are so polluted. We're losing a lot of the fish in India, which is sad. Didn't mean to get on a soapbox, guys. I'm sorry. We're not supposed to talk politics,
Well,
but
that's not really politics so much as just talking about why it's difficult to get fish out of particular. Just the same as the Asian arowana, which is no longer, I mean, maybe it's still endangered in the wild. I don't know, but there are so many people, there are so many breeders over there breeding that fish now that there's no way it can still be considered endangered. But they don't want to. They don't want to fix the tariff or whatever it is that is blocking. Hey, Dee
blacklist. Well, the Asians are so far ahead of us in the fish trade. There are more people that have fish tanks in Hong Kong than have fish tanks in America, which is insane because there's like 7 million families here in America last count that had fish tanks, and nearly everybody in Hong Kong has a fish tank, and they're in every business. They're everywhere. And I think another reason why fish are so popular in Asian markets is because they don't have the room to have dogs and cats.
Could be.
Although
some of the dogs that they breed are, the biggest in the world.
Well, I mean, it seems like anything they do, they go full blown and they get it right. They're not going to, if they're going to have a dog, they're going to make sure they don't have a mutt.
Right. No, they're going to have a.
Hey, Jimmy P.
The Tiberian? Is that how you say it? Tiberian Mastiff? Tiberia? I don't remember how you said it, but that thing is just a monster. I mean, it's as big as a bear. It starts with a T. Is that with a T?
Oh, no.
It starts with a T. Somebody should probably know that. I should know that, but I can't think of it right now. Tiberian. Is that correct? Yeah,
Tiberian?
Tibetan. Knucklehead, Tiberian. What are you thinking?
Well, yeah, their fish are just. Let me see if I can Google some Indian guppies, because I've just watched a couple of their guppy shows, and it's like, my God, they're crazy.
Even that stingray, I believe the stingray
Indian guppy
that you were talking about yesterday, the world's largest stingray, freshwater stingray.
Yes.
I believe that comes. I'm pretty sure that comes from India. I remember watching a Jeremy Wade River Monsters episode.
Well, these are the guys that I just got that I put in my tubs. The red green dragons.
Nice.
And that's a pretty fish. And they look really good in my tubs. So I'm hoping that they
Did
produce.
You get some too?
I bought 2 trios.
2 trios.
And hopefully they mass produce and I'll be able to sell them at the Clash and pay for my table. That's the goal. The goal is to make $165 to be able to pay for the table, even though I probably should try to get $150 to pay for the guppies too. So maybe $315 is the goal. My mom's going to sell a quilt, though,
I
at the
heard.
Clash. and it's a really neat pattern. It's she got an angelfish pattern, and it is really cool because everything's like square blocks, so the angelfish fits perfect with those square blocks. It's cool. And when we were at the quilting show or the quilting convention, we bought the material for it. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. But she spent about just only on the fish part, she spent about $50 on material, and she's also got to put all the material around the sides. And she's like, "Well, I hope I can sell it for $100." And it's like, Mom, you're gonna lose money if you sell it for $100 plus, that 100 hours you put into it. So if it doesn't sell for, I think I'm gonna try it 300. If it doesn't sell for that, I'll buy it for 200 and give it to her. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Did,
Uh,
OB1 DK, he's talking about two of your favorite fish in the hobby.
yeah, I've
Unfortunately,
got a
he's feeding
video.
one to the other.
I've got a video of my favorite bisher in the world. She passed away eating a guppy. Whenever I would find a pregnant guppy that had just died, because when you have as many guppies as me, you find them all the time. I would feed them to my bisher. If her tail was still there, I knew she was fresh, and I wouldn't ever give a non-fresh fish to my bisher. But I dropped the fresh ones in and let him gulp it, and it was pretty cool. Let me see if I can find a video of it. I'm trying to find my video of my fish, and all I have is I'm going through the horror videos that I liked. This Jordan Group, he's an amazing Canadian author and storybook writer. I love he reads a different horror story every day, and I absolutely love it.
I think I followed him because you recommended him.
Yesterday's was really good. What was it?
Jenny
Food truck? I
comes
don't
in at the
remember what
tail
it was.
end. How you doing, girl?
Hiya, Zen. Did you see M to the C?
I did. I said hi to
Okay.
him earlier.
And there's Red Laser.
Yep,
Speaking
Red's
of
been here
awesome
for a while.
Canadians.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I don't turn my head enough over here to see who's here.
You were talking.
OB1DK. OB1DK. That's a great name, too. Oh, that was who just talked about the Bishers.
Yeah. And he said his is
Okay.
named Nessie. I don't
Mine
know what
was
that
named
means.
Baishi.
It's Biker, Bashir. So many people call it something else.
Yeah, I just called mine
What
Baishi.
in a brown water tank? Oh, brown probably brown water. With
Have
koi
you ever heard of
angel.
Yoshi?
Yeah.
Yoshi, I think it's on Mario Brothers is Yoshi. I just put a B on the front and went Baishi. Maybe I put a BY or BA. I don't remember. Poor fish. Boy, it's been a while since I had my Bisher around.
Yep. If you end up wanting them, I still have the Delhaize.
How big is the Delhaize?
Oh, probably 7 inches.
I may
It was
have.
it was only about
I'd
that
have
big
to
when I
grow
first
them
got
out.
it.
I'd have to grow it out because if I put it in with my ornates, they would eat them right now.
Yeah.
My ornates are about 16 inches and 14 inches. But I was going to put it in my big 200, but now, because that's where my old Delhaize was armored. Some people call them armored just to be easier. But
Yeah.
I was gonna put the tank is dark right now, so I can't see anything. My one fish in there that watches me is probably watching me in the dark, but I can't remember. Oh, I'm gonna turn that tank into a rainbow tank. I'm gonna give the Severin in there. I've got a beautiful red or green spotted Severin. It's about 10 to 11 inches. It's a huge guy. I'm going to give that to Bob Kaler. And then I'm going to put these guys that I'm growing out. I've got the Lumpy Dogs rainbows. He sent me 12 of them. I still haven't paid him for the shipping. And Lumpy's not watching right now. I got to get Lumpy's address so I can ship them to him or the money.
Or get his PayPal account or something.
I don't know how to do that, but it would be good. I got to do something.
Skitty, you were here earlier, right? Didn't I say hi? If I didn't say hi, hi, Skitty.
No, spaghetti. Spaghetti nonia. Now I'm going to be hungry for meatballs. Well, it was about a year ago, and I've got a lot of shorts.
Yeah, that's the problem. I was trying to find a video the other day, and I'm like, man, was that last year? Was it 2 years ago? I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
I think it might be at the end of this one. Yep, there it is. That was a guppy that
Yep.
it ate.
I remember that one.
That was so cool. She just stared at that guppy for like 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden, bam, it was gone.
Eduardo has made his way
Hello.
here.
Hello, Eduardo.
M&C says
My
he's
friend.
getting away from most of the common fish. He'll keep one on one display tank, but the rest are going to be more rare fish. I'm kind of doing that, but not really. I've been looking for more rare, like I've got the red frontosa instead of a traditional. I haven't seen too many reds out there. I got the red Texas, which is getting more popular, but at the time it wasn't when I bought it.
I
So
was going to put cave fish in here. That's kind of a rarish fish, but it's only a 15-gallon cube, and they say they get a little bit bigger than what you think.
and what was fish? Yeah, I don't know how big. I think there's multiple species too, right?
Oh, and maybe the ones I was looking at get about 3 inches. So I just thought it was too big. So this tank is still empty, but I need to fill it and just put like a crab in it or something. Well, no, because the crab will climb out. Maybe a crayfish or something. And right now it looks
Crayfish climb
ultra
out too.
bright, but it's so dark in here. The only light is from my monitor and the tanks behind me. See, it's like my lights are out. So it's actually really dark in here.
Getty says, happy early birthday.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I don't know what I'm going to do on my birthday.
When is your birthday?
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
So I don't know. If I go to the movies, I don't like going to the movie on Saturdays because there's so many people.
You got to go early or late. And early doesn't always work either.
I'm trying to save money like a crazy man because next Friday I go to G.I. Joe Fest. And G.I. Joe Fest is down in southern Georgia. I've already got my room for one night. I'm gonna go down there on a Friday, and then what's this? I'm keeping Shelley's, but that is it for the Africans. More good dads. All right, Limians and others. I've got both. I don't have Shelley's, but I have got the Gadads and the Limias. I don't blame you. She wants to devote herself or demote.
Yeah, just wants to keep the common stuff. I
Yeah, I
do it
don't
just
blame
because
you.
that's what I can get. I don't do a whole lot of stuff through the mail just because it's so damn expensive. I talk about him all the time, but there's a catfish that hangs out down here, and he was $35. I bought him for $35. By the time I got out of the checkout, it was 115 between tax and shipping and all that stuff. And I'm like, Jesus.
I got a message yesterday on Facebook, and I haven't gone back to check to see who it was. I've already forgotten because I was trying to get Paul on the show last night, and we were going back and forth, and I read the message, and I was wondering if it was Nancy B. It was somebody from the Nashville Fish Club. They wanted me to pick up some mosaic guppies from one of the fish stores down here,
Yeah.
and they said they would trade rice fish or just pay for them. And I've wiped out my rice fish, so maybe I would love to trade, but I've got to find out. I need to look that up to see who it was, and find out what
Oh,
guppies they were looking at.
Melvin, I am sorry. I knew that. Why my brain just went dead apparently. Melvin's Queen's Chambers. I knew that from last week or the week before. I don't remember when it was, but yeah, okay. Sorry, buddy. Hope you're well.
Melvin, I would send you. I always put a little radio because I like to put different things behind people's names. So that way, if I'm ever super busy, like Eduardo gets a palm tree on the beach because he's down in Florida, and I just picture him always hanging out on the beach, sipping on a pina colada under an umbrella, watching us. That's how. And then Red Laser always gets a red dot before I say laser, and I always want to put a Z in laser because the Germans spell laser with a Z. They go
Yeah.
laser, and so I like. In my personal life, I put a Z in there and say Laser because I'm goofy. But I try not. I type his name and then I erase the Z and put an S in. It's funny.
Happy belly button day.
Thank you.
That's the first time I've heard that one.
Yeah, I know. In college, we had a girl that didn't have a belly button.
I don't know what that is.
She was like one of our photography models, and when she was born, her mom hated belly buttons, so she had them sew it shut.
Ah,
So she just had a flat stomach. It was so weird.
that is weird.
But
You know
I
what?
think because it was such a small baby, the scar is so minute, you didn't even see it. So she had no belly button. I didn't even know people could do that.
I didn't either.
And that would have been, that girl was probably born in the 70s because I mean I'm old. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't like elective surgery was something we did back then.
Yeah. So the mom must have just had a really big thing about belly buttons. Oh, the mosaic plants. So it was Nancy. Okay, good deal. Oh, those plants are very affordable at Aquanuga. They're only $15.99. And I was there yesterday and they had 4 more and they were bigger. They were all like this, even though mine have already grown out about. But when I bought them, they were like this big, and they were about that big at that point.
Just so you know.
Say hi to Crystal.
Walking around in our backyard, marking it. I think they had to call to get it marked again. It's from the last of it.
Yeah. Well, he told me I could.
Oh,
Okay. Sorry. Septic issues.
Well,
I'm still dealing with the septic issues.
That sucks.
Yeah. They're out there spray painting my grass.
We have a septic tank at our house. which is really weird because my house is half sewer and half septic. My mom and dad are hooked up on a septic, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that a couple shows ago on somebody's. Maybe it was yours or Skip's or
Yeah.
maybe even here. I don't remember.
Well, but I think that their toilet is hooked up to my or on my sewer line. So the only thing that goes out to the septic is like their kitchen stuff. Well, and probably my kitchen stuff, because they're like my kitchen's below theirs. So all that in my niece was packing potatoes down the
Disposal.
disposal and jammed it all up, and that's when we found out we had a septic tank. But it turns out
I mean,
that
that's unbelievable.
I know. Well, our city sewer people come and clean out your septic for free once a year if you have septic. Because my dad's like saying, well, what am I paying for my sewer bill every year if I'm not getting sewer? And they said they would take care of it. So that's kind of cool.
So Lanky says the dude who gave her the blood pears and the Texas cichlids had been trying to make red Texas but failed. It's no wonder he admitted that forever killing all his fish. He admitted to forever killing all his fish. They are too much effing work. I assume you're talking about the Texas, because they are pretty aggressive. Although I did try coexisting a red hair with a red Texas, and they did fine for a while, and then their little brain switch turned off or on or whatever happened, but then they weren't getting along anymore, so I had to separate them. Now the red terror is in the 120 in the music room with your banded or your, what are they called? You call them something else. Oh, armored. The armored biter, the Delhaize.
We love the Delhaize because it gets so much thicker than a lot of the Cynadel. Is it called Cynadel? Am I saying that right?
Senegal.
Senegal, yes.
Yeah.
Senegal and the ornates are they're like long skinnies. And then the Deltaizes get real thick. And I like that. I like big, thick fish. But Nancy, remind me before the show, was going to go probably back to Aqua Nougat on Tuesday or next Thursday because I talked to the owner and he's going to give me a tour of the place. And he was busy selling a pond, so I couldn't do it yesterday when I came through. So he wanted me to call him before so he knew that I was coming and he'd make sure that he didn't schedule an appointment. But so I'll call him before and get it. And do you want 2 of those plants or 3? They need to be within 15 inches to the top of the water. So like what I did is I put baskets under the plants to lift them up higher because my tubs are about 2.5 feet of water. So I put a 6-inch tub on or basket underneath and it just worked out perfect.
Hey, Dix doesn't have a belly button either.
He doesn't?
Dixon Design.
Oh, wow.
Juanita.
From surgery.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she
like a tummy
maybe
surgery.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Huh.
Salient Aquatics. Hey, bud. I
Hey,
see
partner.
you've been putting out. I don't know how many lives are you doing a day now, bud? Are you doing up to like 3 or 4?
It's awesome.
If only I was as pretty as you. I think you're up to like 3 or 4 though, right, bud? Trying to grow your. I know you got your subs up, but last time I talked to you on the side, I think you said your watch hours were low. You probably got that covered by now, though.
Yeah, I tell you, the amount of time you get from live streaming, you get a lot more hours from live streaming. It's a really weird combination because live streamers, you only get, it's like the slowest growth on your channel because
Right.
only 5% of the watchers are live stream watchers, but they're your most dedicated people, and you get tons of time from them. But like when I make a 2 minute short, or not a 2 minute short video, if I get over 1,000 people, then it's good, you know, because you get 2 cents a view, so that's good, and then you get that time. But unfortunately, it's so hit or miss. I mean, if you look at my videos, it's like I'll get 200 views. So 200 views times 2 cents. Is that $4? I don't know,
Oh, you're talking about revenue? Yeah, yeah.
but it's still it takes hours to make. So it's like, but it's the best way to grow your channel is videos. So it's just really a hit or miss. Let's see. So, well, I got 100 or 1,200 people 4 days ago looking at my water hyacinth flowers. My trip to Aquanuga got 4,400. That's awesome. My tubbing one got 2,300. Wow, my videos have been doing a lot better. But then, like, I thought this bumblebee one would do great, and it got 219. I was gonna do, and you see, that's a really easy one because I was just gonna go to pet stores and have pet store people talk about their favorite fish in the store for 2 minutes, and it's a super edit and done job. And it was hard. No, nobody watched it at all. I did a HOB hang off the back video that only got 108. It's like so weird.
Yeah, I really don't know what YouTube does to get your stuff out there. Um, I mean, I don't ever get so you have a much bigger channel than I do. So, uh, but I'll see stuff that you have posted, and as I'm scrolling, like if I'm doing the whole reel thing or whatever they're called on YouTube, I'll catch a half a dozen of yours that you have done, and I never even saw them released.
I mean, last week every one of my videos went like over 1,000, and this week is like 500, and then only 60, 7,000, and then 80 and 405. That's terrible. So it's just so weird how it's such a hit or miss deal.
So
And it
MNC
really
said,
makes you not want to do it.
right.
When
Well,
is
I
I
suppose
right.
when you're to your point, but 400 views on one of my videos, that's a damn good video.
Well, yeah, I'll take the 400, but when it only goes to 50 or 60 is a bummer because it's like they're what's that is my subs all watching it, which is very
Right.
important, but
Yeah, it's not
it's
getting
not
out
showing it
past.
to new people.
Right. MNC says, I have I live, oh, reading is hard. I have a live in the works, alive in the works here soon, as soon as my guests get the time. You know who he is.
Alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was struggling with whether that was live or live. I guess he's going to do a live stream.
Awesome.
I have a feeling I know who he's talking about, who his guest is going to be, or maybe guests. And then Oinky says this dude went down the laundry list of fish that he had owned and killed all of them. Cichlids, goldfish, bichers, plecas, probably laughing at the whole time. His last group was what he gave to me. You know, those are the type of people that just should not own pets, or probably shouldn't even try to raise kids.
Well, okay, out of that group of four, three of them are super hardy.
Right.
Fishers can, like, they river fish. They love dirty tanks. Plecos,
I'm listening.
as
I'm
long
just
as
not going to hear you.
should be super. I've seen people like really neglect plecos in their tanks, and the plecos get gigantic. Goldfish, I guess it's a hit or miss fish because a lot of them are so inbred that they don't live very long. But if it's got a decent DNA, a goldfish can live forever and get gigantic.
Oh man, I'm telling you, you could, at least back in the day, you could spit in a spoon and get a goldfish to live in there for a while.
I know.
And now,
like,
now they are, they're all fancy and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about the guppies. They're much more beautiful. They have thicker tails, and
Mhm.
and I mean the meat of their tail. So you would think if you had a thicker body, you would be healthier. But I think what's happening is people demand beautiful fish, and the breeders are overbreeding the same fish. So they're always breeding fathers to daughters and sons to mothers, and the
Right.
DNA is just
It's
killing
out of whack. Yeah.
the fish. I mean, well, take bettas for example. Bettas today are more beautiful than they've ever been, hands down. I mean, they're crazy amazing, but
Yep.
almost all of them get cancer and die now
Yeah.
within a year and a half.
I think I've told this story too. My first betta well, not my very first one, but the first one I got getting back into the hobby back in the 90s. I think I had him, and Mrs. Whip would have to probably verify, but this is back before the internet, or before I had internet anyway. And I had that thing in a vase with a pothos plant growing out the top, no heater, no filtration, no nothing. That thing lived about 7 years old.
Yeah.
It did fine. It seemed happy enough, it was wagging its tail every time I came up to the tank to feed it. It looked good. Now, you spend 50, 60, $70 on one, and it lives, if you're lucky, you get 2 years. I don't know of anybody
you're
who's
lucky.
getting more than 2 years.
And then, but after a year, they start growing tumors.
Right. And my last one, the reason I tell the first story about, no filtration and no heater, no nothing. Now I had a 14-gallon cube tank, and it had filtration, it had a bubbler and the hang on the back. It had a heater, it had everything you could possibly need in there. It was planted with real plants, not a pothos plant hanging out the top. And I think I've tried 3 different times in the last maybe 5 years, and maybe 10 years, because I did get a couple of years out of, but the last 2, but I don't even know if I got a year out of either one of them. So I'm like, I'm done with them. I might try a guppy again, maybe. We'll see.
I read a book on DNA for guppy DNA, and you can get about 18 cycles before they're all going to start dying off. So you want to break the DNA chain within 18. The guppies are easy to break the chain if you create different colonies, because what will happen is if you colony breed, those fish are always going to be doing it with each other, and it's not just one father banging all of his daughter. I know that sounds terrible, but but I'm going to start line breeding at the same time, so I'm getting the best males, and then I'm going to pull those males and drop them in to my 3 tanks that I keep, but I keep 3 colonies separate. So their DNA, they look the same, but their DNA is being scrambled continuously. But you have to do a lot more calls, and I do a bad job on calling. The calls go to the Beischer. If I see a really ugly male or a bent spine, the Bishers get to eat, and I drop it in the ornate tank. But
Right.
otherwise, I don't do like, is it full solid blue, but when you line breed, you can pick that best boy and really hit them hard. So my goal is to try to line breed my 4 favorite guppies at the same time, keep 2 20-gallon colonies and 110-gallon colony in the house. And in the summertime, I take one of the 20s and I take half the fish out, put them in the tub, and I take a big net of the 110 and I throw it outside. So they mix for the summer, and then it comes back in and goes into the 110 that I have inside waiting for them. So I'm cycling them in that way.
Right.
But you just can't have, because my Japanese blue tails I've had for like 5 years now. And if I always had them breeding with each other in one colony, they'd be done already.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, you have to. There's good. If you're going to have, otherwise you're just going to have bent spines and all over the place if you just leave things be. KGE, no, I was talking about the pretty ones opposed to the common ones. Yeah, I'm not paying $50 for a common one you pick out of PetSmart. No way.
now that one
But
is probably healthier.
it might be. It's because it hasn't been bred to its siblings and whatever else. So, yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, people who pay that much for a PetSmart, uh, although you like Ed just said, it probably live longer than the one that, um, like I bought one from a lady at the Clash, um, that didn't even make it to the next Clash.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I've received a lot of bettas free. I've only paid for the one at the Clash, and it's still alive. It's still doing good. And I didn't want it. I just felt guilty, so I paid for it. The guy wouldn't stop talking about it, so I finally just bought it. But I don't want bettas because, like, a real pretty boy guppy is going to go up and dance in front of that betta and die. Now, the betta's probably not going to kill my female guppies, but the biggest, prettiest boy guppies are going to die. So I can't put them in with them. If I put them in with a G'dayad, the G'dayads are going to destroy it.
Yep.
So there's only a few places in the fish room I can keep a betta without losing fish space, valuable fish space. So
Right.
I've got my one betta that I got from that guy, and it's like a green samurai. It's beautiful, but it's in the tank with all my corridoras. I don't know. I'm probably Dr. Anthony hates how I say corridora. But
he's coming
my
back for
Cory
you.
cats, it's in a 70, or yeah, it's in a 75 with the Corys and my black neon tetras, and it does fine with them. I feel bad because I feel like it's lonely, but it's still a betta, so
Yeah,
like
they live
lonely.
pretty solitary lives.
He's always swimming around with the black neon tetras, though. So you've had bettas that I've had, like growing up, I always had a betta in every tank I had, except for guppy tanks. So like swordtails, everything. I always put a betta in every tank because I wanted that prettiness. But a lot of times they just sit at the top, and be like a flower at the top.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Zenny's got the
Never
same
had one
problem.
with.
Yeah. Xanadude is here. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
It's a drag, and I just think they're overbred.
Yep, and that's what it is. I mean, they're people think they can make money on them, so they do, and it doesn't matter about the health of the animal. They do it with cats, they do it with dogs, they do it with everything.
Now, Oinky has a beautiful, crazy beautiful betta she got at a Petco, on the cheap stack. So I'm hoping it's healthy and mega beautiful. It looks like a flower. It's amazing.
And that's a betta?
Yeah. I mean, she's had people that know bettas and she's shown the photos. And they say it could compete in competitions. And so it probably has a much stronger DNA than a lot of the competition fish. And I've received betas from people that win these competitions. You know, I guess it's an honor that they're giving it to me, but I really don't want it. But they all get sick and die. So I guess it's kind of like you got to look at them now as they're the new killifish. They just don't last long.
Right.
You don't even wear
So
pants on your streams?
I'm wearing pants.
No, he has to wear pants because he overflows his tanks all the time.
You're right. Man, that ain't no lie. People are
I have to
catching
wear
on.
because Nico's going to spill something on me if I don't. Well, he's going to spill something on me either way.
One Jeff Kane, two Stephen P Aquatics, three Super Cichlids Delaware. So I'll be leaving to try to do this video. All right. Well, you have yourself a good day. Good luck.
Yeah. We'll see you, buddy. That's an awesome day. Did I get 3 packages in the mail?
Yeah. Nancy, I say the same thing, but I don't put it past myself to end up with another. Yep. It is hard to say no when they are.
Well, I just feel rude to say no too, because it seems like I try to say, well, I don't really have the space, and they say, oh no, you need it, and it's like, oh man.
See
And
now,
since I don't work for Aquashella or work at the Aquashella shows anymore, I get a lot less free fish.
yeah,
Or a lot less free betas, because that's
right.
where they like to give it to me. They run their fish after the show over to the booth and try to give them to all the YouTubers, which is pretty smart, because those YouTubers that love them probably do a lot of videos about them and stuff. I got one that was a monster giant one. Yep.
I just saw somebody post something about this where they're Corridor aren't even Corridor anymore, or they're reclassifying a lot of them.
Wow. That's interesting.
My last betta was a baby and sick already when I picked him up. Didn't know it. Had him for 2 happy, healthy years. Yeah, the tumors thing is a thing.
Yeah. I had the super cute one that Big City Betta gave me. She mailed it to me, and he had his own tank right behind in my fish room. Now that fish tank is moved, I took that fish tank out because I'm redoing everything in there. But he used to be so cute because he would sit in the front and look at me. He was a picot, and every snail that would climb up the tank, he would knock it down. So he was a snail bully, and there was no snails in this 10-gallon tank because he would always knock them down. Well, when I moved that tank, there was about 100 snail shells behind the tank because they were probably escaping at night to try to get away from him, and then they'd fall to their deaths.
Oh, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
It was so gross to see all these snail shells.
Yeah.
They weren't
I
in the
can't
front,
smell, but I
unless,
can only imagine what that would be like if you have that going on.
I mean, they were super, they were really small. So maybe they were so small they didn't create much of a smell over the 2 years I had him. And maybe the ones that came over the front, I just vacuumed, because I vacuum in there because when I go to feed, I always hit my hand at least once during the feeding, and I dump, flakes on the floor or on the side. So I have to vacuum that room all the time. So maybe I was just vacuuming the dead ones that crawled out the front and didn't even realize it. But it was pretty gross. And it was only that tank where they were, because I looked behind all the other tanks, and it was only that had all those dead, unless he knew how to eat the snails and spit them out. I don't know.
Clean out of the tank.
Get these things out of here.
Yeah, they're smelling up the place.
But he was a funny fish, but then he got the cancer, and it just kills you when they get the
Yeah, I don't
tumor.
like it. That's another
So
reason I stay away from them now. I mean, they are very
yeah,
pretty, but man, and unlike I know Keith was saying, and I think MNC agreed with him. I'm not a fan of the wild caught ones. They don't do anything for me. They're not very pretty, and they're pretty heighty too. I don't like the wild discus either. I know
oh, I
Professor
do. I
or
love
the
those.
Doc Awesome loves them, but I'll take those pigeon blood over a wild caught every time.
The wild ones they have at the Tennessee Aquarium are so neat. How they've got the yellow, but the striking blue, like lightning bolt color that goes through them is so cool. It's what's on the rams too. You know, on the Bolivian rams and the German rams have that blue lightning kind of. I don't know how to. I
Yeah,
love that look. I just oh, I knocked this over with my elbow and had a heart attack. In fact, I'm
yeah.
gonna fill my thing up because it's almost empty. But yeah, and rams are one fish I've never had.
I've tried. I can't keep them. There's a couple fish I can't keep in my water. And maybe it was because I wasn't keeping them warm enough at the time, because I generally try to keep them at 78 down here. And rams need it in
Yeah.
the 80s, I guess. But
Yeah, they like to be 82 to 84.
yeah,
But
I got something going on in the upstairs tank with my flower horn. It's set at 79. It usually runs about 79.3 to 79.8. And lately it's been in the 80s. It was 81 this morning. So I don't know if my heater is failing already, or it's just because it's been so damn hot out. I don't know.
well,
I'll have
I
to keep my
try
eye on it though.
to I try to save as much money as possible when it comes to the fish keeping. And I don't do heaters in all my tanks. I do one electric heater and plug it in the middle of the room. It's a space heater type oil-based one, and it keeps the electric bill so much lower than keeping 80 heaters running.
Right.
And but unfortunately, I keep it at 77 degrees, and it's like 78 in the top tanks and 76 the bottom tanks, and 77 in the middle tanks because of just the heat in the room.
Sure.
And if the place smells fishy or steamy, I do have an air vent that I can blow it out, and that would probably create an even temperature through the room if I would use that more often. But I just don't use it very often because my room just doesn't seem to be smelly to me. But I'm probably just nose deaf to it, or is that what you call it? Nose blind? I don't know
Yeah.
if it's nose blind or nose deaf, but
No, no, noise blind. Nose blind. Yes, is the correct term. People with cats can get that. With the litter box and fish tanks. If you're just exposed to it too long, you don't notice it anymore. Yeah, you don't want 10 baby tilapia. That's those are big fish. Really, really big fish. Like 18 inches big fish.
wow. Yeah, I don't pay attention. Are the tilapias though pretty when they're little?
I don't know. I've never kept a tilapia. I've seen Jason had that gigantic one um, in with his Oscar, Jason from Primetime Aquatics. It has
Yeah,
since
and
passed. But it was enormous, but I don't know what it looked like when it was little.
Rob from Flips Aquatics, he has one, but it's real ugly. Let's see. Aquatic fish tank tilapia. Okay, it's saying that they recommend 40 to 70 gallon fish tanks.
Well, that's wrong right off the bat.
Well, I mean, this is a real pretty one, how blue he is.
Yeah.
But I think
But thi-
most of them are like the ugly grays. See, almost every tilapia I see looks like this.
That's when they're young. Yep. Yep. That other one was probably in breeding dress or Photoshop.
And I mean, that doesn't do much for me either. I think I would just get a fish that I don't eat. And I know people are saying, oh, you don't want to eat tilapia because it's so gross. You know that fake crab that you can buy? It's like the roll with red on top and it's white.
Yeah, yeah.
That's tilapia. And I tell you what, it's delicious dipped in butter.
I agree 100%. I don't know if I can eat it,
So,
but I do like it.
yeah. I mean, I know how they feed their tilapia in Arizona and it's pretty gross, but hey, man, it works. They're using tilapia in their sewer districts.
Stephen, I way overslept. Yes, you did, sir. I mean, I think you're in the same
Steven?
time frame as me, right? It's 11:40 here. That means you were up super late.
Stephen has a great show tonight. What time does Stephen start? Is it 9 o'clock?
8. It's a weird time, right? Stephen, what time does yours? 8:30? It's a weird start time. Not weird, but it's different. It's a different start.
It's a fun. Oh, well, all his shows are fun. And now, are you doing the reptiles with Bob Kaler?
Me?
Reptiles? Yeah.
I don't. He hasn't asked me to do
Okay.
the reptiles, just the Sunday show. I don't have any
know if that's
reptiles,
the
so I
reptiles.
don't have a whole lot of input.
I like
8:30.
to
That's
take.
what I thought.
I take Fridays off normally and just have fun. Like tonight, we're going to be watching Deadliest Catch.
Did that longtime captain die? I just saw something fly by Facebook, but I never really
Was it
paid
Wild
attention.
Bill?
I don't know, white-haired dude, longer hair.
Yeah. Well, I saw something with Wild Bill on it. Boy, I tell you, that guy, he must have lived a pretty rough life because his son was on his ship and now his son's on a different ship, and his son would rather not be paid by TV and just work as a fisherman because those deckhands make $12,500 an episode they're on. I think I'd want to be on TV. Because
Yeah.
if
Well, they make a lot of money not being on TV. I don't know what the difference is, but
well, they're almost double their pay.
Oh, really?
So I mean, it's like they'll make 10,000 on a boat that's not on TV, or one that is on TV and make 20. I mean, I would take the TV, and then they're kind of celebrities. But he just hates his dad, so I don't know what happened. And his dad, like, he bought the boat to give to him. His dad has done everything he can to try to help Zach love him, and that Zach just doesn't want to have anything to do with. And he broke his hip a few years ago and had to have a hip replacement. And he asked Zach to help him during the summer while he was recovering. And he was like, "I'm not going to help you." And it's like, wow. And then he left the boat.
Babs is here. Miss Barbara Jackson Gordon. I don't remember what Rico calls you, but
Barbara Jackson.
Barbara Jackson Gordon.
Now,
Barbara Gordon Jackson.
What's on her? Oh, look. You see, when you pop it up on the TV, I can see the logo so much better. It's a little happy face with a little like
a-
embarrassing cheats and a black square.
Yeah, like a garage door or something. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
It's cute.
maybe it's a cave, a happy cave that you can drive into. Hangar, an airplane hangar. Oh wow.
Let's just keep guessing. It's a snow fort. White-haired dude, longer hair, is describing himself. Jenna, I didn't even see you sneak in. Hey, that's
Yeah,
not white. It's still pretty blonde, but it's got a lot of gray in it. See this? When I let this grow out, it covers up the dark. You can see the dark in there, but like when
Now,
I
do you
shave
shave
this,
it in the middle?
no, but when I shave, it's more this color. But as it grows longer, it goes whiter and whiter and whiter.
It looks pretty cool how you grow that.
Oh yeah.
I have Stephen P's and Jenna P's sticker in the other room. I
I
was looking at them just yesterday.
they were I think I won it or they were just cool enough to send it to me, but I got their magnet sticker. Can you see it right in the middle of the tank on the bottom on the metal frame?
Well, I see their circle or the circles on the ends.
Yep, that's Jason over here. And then the other one's too far away for me to see. Very busy. Somebody probably knows what that is, but I'm too blind to see it. But yeah, that's a very cool sticker with all the fish that make up the fish. I like it. That was a damn fine idea.
I got Stephen P as my Secret Santa last year. And it was really weird because I had no idea. But I've been wanting to get one of his What the Fish shirts forever because I love them. And I went to order it. And I ordered it and he refunded me and said that they didn't make it in my size. And then he mailed it to me for my Secret Santa gift. That's so awesome. But I haven't worn that shirt. I don't know where that shirt is. I need to go
That
through my
happens to
dad's.
me every now and again. Things go missing.
Well,
Holy
I
cow.
have to go through my dad's drawer every so often and pull my shirts out because somehow my mom puts it. I mean, you'd think anything with a fish on it would be obvious, but I'll find my shirts in his drawer all the time. But I haven't seen that for months. So I bet you it's in my
He
dad's
probably sees
closet
it.
or
He goes,
dad's
what the hell?
drawer.
I'm not going to wear that.
I love it. I love those fish. I think they're
Study up for the
absolutely awesome.
logo game. Logo game. Yes, right?
What was? Oh yes, I was pretty good on my game when I
It's
did it.
an Ani 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 Guri. I don't know what that says. Can you read that? I can't read that. There's too many eyes.
Omni Girl.
Oh, maybe that's supposed to be an
It's
L. Ani girl.
Omni Golly Girl. Omni Girl.
I don't know.
Omni Girl. Oh, it's probably like I bet you it's like a Japanese thing. Nico is a Japanese name for cat.
Oh,
But
it's
you know what?
Fishymon. It's
I'm gonna.
Fishymon.
Is Fishymon here?
No. Fishymon's the round magnet.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna type that. Oh, it's gone. It's
What? Oh, I can put
O
it back. I can put it back.
N. No, it's all right. I got it right here. GIRI. Well, it's definitely an Asian type rice triangle food.
Oh, look at that. And you just have to draw a happy face on it.
Oh, the square. This one you can see a lot better because it's not a very well made one. But that's the seaweed that they put on the rolls. So that's what the little square is.
It's a cute little
So
critter
sticky rice. Look at
that's
this
got a
one
black
has sticky rice
clipboard and is
with
taking
tuna in the
notes
middle.
about all of you.
Who's taking notes about us?
No, that's what Jenny was saying that it's a picture of. It's a cute little critter that has a black clipboard and taking notes about all of us.
Oh yeah, that could be too.
Yeah, that's what it is. Jenny said so.
Barbara, have you ever ate one of those Oriyamon? I don't know. Triangle rice things?
It's okay. They're ADHD
have.
notes, so they get all mixed up and disorganized. Man, I cannot read.
We have a Japanese steakhouse in my town, and I don't know how it stays open. It's like it never has more than 3 cars at it. So I'm like, maybe it's a drug place. That's what I always think when a business stays open for a decade and they never get customers. I mean, a food place, they've got to have food there all the time, or the food's going to spoil. I don't know how they stay open.
They might be doing something a little on the illegal side. We have a couple places that I swear they're probably running, laundering money or something through them because there's nobody ever there, but they're always, they don't go out of business. So there's got to be something nefarious going on.
Gotta be.
Zenny came up with the same thing you did per Google. I'm not going to try to read all that, but it was basically what you were showing us.
Yeah, I bet it's that sticky rice so it'll stay in place.
Just like sushi.
Yep, that's what it looked like. Oh, it's raw fish in it. Well, that one that I showed, hopefully it was cooked. Hey, you know what? Who cares? If you want to eat raw fish, do it. Just don't make me do it. I'm not. Have you ever had that meat that they slice real thin that's raw? What's that called?
Say that again. I was reading.
Yeah, I know it's not pistachio, but they cut raw meat like steak real thin. It sounds like pistachio, but it's not pistachio.
I don't know that it's raw. Are you talking pastrami?
Nope, not
No.
pastrami. It's when they take their meat, and they cut it super sliced thin. But it's like they eat it as a main dish. I see them do it all the time on
What about
Cutthroat Kitchen.
Carpaccio?
Potato.
Zenny guessed Carpaccio, if I'm saying that right. Prosciutto? Benjamin says prosciutto.
I think that's what it is. Man, I wouldn't eat that either. Have you guys ever had that? Is it gross?
Generally, if it had a face, I will try it.
I'll eat anything with a face as long as it's been cooked. I want it to have some torture in its life.
Yeah, they're saying the one that Jenny was talking about was raw.
Oh.
Carpaccio.
And then Jenna P says it's cured, not raw. Well, so maybe it's like a chemical cook instead of a heated cook. But I don't know.
I don't know. Say, I have totally drop the ball here. We went a full hour over the time frame, and I've been stepping all over poor Johnny. No shoes
Oh,
over there
bummer.
at My Fish Tanks Aquatics. So I think we're
Oh,
gonna
I
say
assumed
goodbye.
nobody was live.
I didn't see anything pop up, but I would imagine he is.
I didn't see anybody pop up either notifications. That's why I was just going with it.
Yeah. If he's not on, we can keep going. But
Let me refresh.
you know what? I don't see him on. Bird Garden's on. Craig is on. Craig's on. I thought he was sleeping. Is this?
I have Hasbro cartoons are on. We're
No,
on.
he's on. He's on. So he's got
Okay.
9 people in there.
Well then, let's all head over there and call it a day.
Yeah,
If
I
that's
appreciate
this
the
is your
link
show,
there,
I shouldn't
Jenny.
say that. I'm sorry.
No, I totally forgot. I was just rambling off at the mouth. So my fault. So all right. Well,
Holy
everybody, do you have any plans for tonight or tomorrow, Ed? Before we hang up, I got like 4 minutes.
It's my birthday and I don't have any plans, which is probably pathetic.
But you are streaming tomorrow, or you're
I
not
don't
sure?
think so. I don't know. I hate to because Skipper or actually Rico asked Skipper and I to take one Saturday a month so he didn't
Hey,
have to
Linda.
do all 4 for him. And we said yes, and now it's turning into almost like we have to split it between the 2 of us, and it's tough
Right.
to try to create 6 shows a month because cooking is so much different than my normal show. I thought I could do mixed drinks tomorrow, but then maybe that's bad. But I could teach people how to make Mai Tais, pina coladas.
Right.
But I gotta see if anybody's willing to come up and co-host with me too. And maybe alcohol's a bad idea. I don't know.
Well, if you end up going or whatever, or if you need somebody to like a third until Rico's back on a steady, I might be able to help you out. There's with me dealing with the stuff I'm dealing with. I'll probably be home, so
Well,
yeah, just let
and
me know.
I talked to XDo about if he would want to do one show a month, even one D&D session a month. Even though nobody watches our D&D shows. So maybe that's a bad thing to put in place for Rico's show. But
would we
yeah,
be
maybe
streaming through Rico's channel or no? Does somebody have a link
no.
to it so he's getting the credit for it?
No, we're
No.
just holding the spot for him, kind of, because
Okay.
he wants us to hold his spot. He's actually holding the spot for James, because James has been there. But James is like the type that would say, you don't have to hold it because just let everybody go whatever time they want.
Right.
But Rico like took it over or tried to help, and so I kind of consider it Rico's spot because James will take whatever, he's not sensitive like that, so
Right.
he wouldn't be upset.
If he ever comes back, the bum. That's
I
right.
don't
I
know.
called you a bum, you
him.
bum. You need to
I
stream
haven't
again.
heard from him.
I haven't heard from him either. I was fairly regular with him on Facebook Messenger, but I haven't probably a year, maybe more. But
Yeah,
anyway,
maybe he just doesn't want to.
yeah, it could be just burned out.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody coming in. We had a steady group of about 25 or so, 22 to 28, it looked like. So that was nice. I appreciate it. The chat didn't go too crazy. So I will see you all next Friday, unless I got to work. I got nothing really to add. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow on Ed's channel, or maybe he'll be out having a good time somewhere. So
My dad will be out.
Until then, just make time for the people in your lives that matter, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Bye.
Yeah.